everybody. On behalf of Philosophy family, I extend a hearty welcome to all the viewers who are present in the Sunday webinar of Philosophy family. Friends, today we have a very beautiful topic, that is unity of soul and compassion. It contains the message of Sri Ramlinga Balalal, and you have already listened the philosophy of Sri Ramlinga Balalal from different speakers. Today we have invited Professor Dr. K. Sambath Kumar, the former Associate Professor of Philosophy, Department of Philosophy, Vachaipas College, Chennai. I extend my warm regards and gratitude to Dr. Sambath Kumar to be associated with us in this Sunday webinar. Today, his philosophical reflection will definitely inspire all of us. And the topic that he has taken is a very beautiful topic. I don't want to speak much of Dr. Sambath Kumar. You know, Dr. Sambath Kumar has a teaching career of more than 30 years in PG and UG levels. He has also guided many MPhil and PhD scholars. He has contributed many spiritual articles to different national and international forums, which have been published. And being a follower of Sri Ramliga Balala, he has also contributed many lectures on the teaching and philosophy of Swamiji. And today, you must listen so much the undiscussed things from Dr. Sambath Kumar. And you know, Sri Ramliga Balalal was one of the most famous Tamil Shiva saints and one of the greatest Tamil poets of 19th century. His way of living and way of philosophizing has inspired many followers of our country. He is a profound symbol representing the enduring omnipotence of the divine that Dr. Sambath Kumar will reflect. I welcome Dr. Sambath Kumar to our webinar. With this, I also welcome the senior professors and philosophers like Professor Srinivasan, Dr. Vrindavan Mahapatra, Professor Ranjit Ghosh, Madam Sabani Misra, and Sonulate Madam, and all of us to be associated with us. I extend my best wishes and gratitude to Professor Pramod Kumar Das, the man behind this entire program, the main architect of Philosophy family, the convener and host of Philosophy family. I also welcome Dr. K. Rao, the regular moderator of Philosophy family and editor of the philosophical series published by Philosophy family. With this, once again, I extend a hearty welcome to all the viewers of this Sunday webinar, and I request Professor Sambath Kumar to commence his talk on the unity of soul and compassion. Over to Dr. Sambath Kumar.
Good evening to all. Hope you are listening me. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Audible.
okay. At the outset, I would having continuously many programs for almost 3 years, it seems, right? 3 years, right? And it's a very great effort that the admin of this philosophy family has put into it. And I am also happy to join again to this philosophy family uh, to share some of the ideas which I know or I came to know. Actually, when Dr. Srinivasan called me last week, uh, could you please give a webinar on coming Sunday, he said. At the time, I was thinking about Ramalinga Swamigal, and immediately I gave the title Vallalar 200. What is that Vallalar 200? He himself asked me. It actually, Vallalar 200 is a caption that is being celebrated almost 1 year in Tamil Nadu by various organizations, including government of Tamil Nadu. That is his 200 years of birth centenary, that birth anniversary, and this 5th October is 201st birth anniversary. So I thought I would like to share some of his ideas with you. In fact, he is very less known personality to non-Tamil populace. Though there are many organizations promoting the teachings of Vallalar in many foreign countries, but very few universities, I can say, in the other part of Bharat. They have in their curriculum about Vallalar or any research on Vallalar. Actually, 2 or 3 years back, I hope it is 3 years back, with the support of Indian Council of Philosophical Research, we organized one seminar in Coimbatore for 2-day seminar on Saint Ramalinga's philosophy. To my surprise, I received some 7 papers in Hindi. Of course, you know, well, many papers are in Tamil and few in English. So that means Vallalar is known to Hindi-speaking people also. So it is, and very well, Dr. Kailash said about Vallalar. It's a quite interesting philosophy, a contemporary philosophy. He is a philosopher, contemporary philosopher. He is contemporary and compared to many social reformers such as Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Dayananda Saraswati, like that. Here, I'm going to tell you 1 or 2 concepts about the teachings of Saint Ramalinga. I'm not going to dwell deep into his teachings. What is unique of Vallalar? No doubt, he comes or he inherits the tradition of Bharatiya Jnana Parambara. No doubt, he is inheriting the knowledge system of Bharat or Indian knowledge system. At the same time, he demonstrated practically what he taught. For example, we all know that the Vedic and Upanishad teachings and Vedanta teachings says that the ultimate reality should be realized. That is the core, ultimate goal. You call it that reality as a truth or Brahman or Atman, whatever may be, it has to be realized. And almost all the systems of Indian philosophy talk about it. And every system suggests some practical method or some method through which you can realize it. Here, Ramalinga demonstrated it by disappearing, that is, with the whole body itself, with the physical body, he has what you call dissolved or disappeared and reached the what you call that ultimate reality. It is not merely verbal form of realization of or textual realization of the ultimate goal. He demonstrated it. That is the unique of his philosophy and the practice. And if you come across, there are many groups throughout Tamil Nadu, in some parts of North India also, who are most of them are ordinary people. They all practice to some extent, or to most of, I mean, at least they are doing it 60 to 70% of what he taught. Let me, with this introduction, let me say some few words about it, about the philosophy of Saint Ramalangar, who is very popularly called as Vallalar. He is revered as Arut Prakasa Vallalar. That means omnificent light of divine grace. That is the meaning. Arut Prakasa Vallalar. It is termed or named by his followers. Actually, he was born on 5th October 1823, and he is a prodigy. At the age, very small age itself, he realized. It seems later he was telling to his followers, he has that vision. He had that vision of light. So he has no formal education, but he could read and write. And what you call is many of the poems are what you say can be put into the what you call highly learned saints and seers. Normally, saints and seers need not have any formal education. Like us, we go to the college or study under that, and we call ourselves as learned person or educated person. But we are not that much practical persons. Whereas Saint Ramlinga, without any formal education, he could compose poems, and he at the age of 10, that was his first address, a discourse on what you call devotional songs on Lord Muruga, and the whole what you call the audience appreciated it. Then it is a great story. So he was revered as Arul Prakasa Vallalar. He is a poet mystic, a mystic poet, we can say. He wrote more than 5,800 verses of poetry. The title of that poetry is Thiruvarutpa, Holy Book of Grace, it is called. Thiruvarutpa are verses of divine grace. A noted British civil servant, Francis White Ellis, in Tamil and Sanskrit, he wrote about, quote, even level-headed government officials are said to have changed their residences and gone to live where they could be constantly near to him. That was the attraction of Saint Ramalingar towards not only the local populace, also the Britisher at that time. Actually, he promoted vegetarianism. He is against animal sacrifice. And he called this as Jiva Karunya Olukam. It's one of the book. Jiva Karunya Olukam. That means compassion toward all living beings. Another aspect of his philosophy is alleviating hunger of the poor. So he established a feeding center in 1867 called Dharma Salai, and still it is functioning. Minimum of 600 persons are fed 3 times in a day. Anyone can go and have the food. You know, when I come across his teachings and 1 or 2 books on Saint Ramalinga, I was just corroborating two things. That is what I have concluded. Many may agree or may not agree. During the British India, during the British rule in India, there are many famine. I call, and many of the scholars are calling it as induced famine. And many Indians died out without food, though they have produced a lot of what you call agricultural produce. All these things were taken by British to their land, especially during Second World War. They need more and grain. And well, the Bengal famine and most part of India, there was famine. And all these things are induced by the British administrator. At the time, Vallalar was very much annoyed. So he started feeding to the poor people. Actually, whether he started because of that or not, but I concluded by corroborating these two instances, how British were looting India and Indian farmers. At the time, Vallalar started what you call Dharma Salai to feed the poor. Why he has taken that? Though Annadanam or helping the poor, feeding the poor is one of the dharmic activities of every Hindu in this country or every person in this country. He promoted and he emphasized it because of this situation. This is my opinion I draw from these two incidents. So he established Dharma Salai and still it is functioning. Another important idea he promoted is Anmaneya Urmaipadu. In Tamil, Anmaneya Urmaipadu. That means awareness of unity of souls. This is the point that I would like to go in deep or in detail, which is nothing but we inherit this idea from our traditional text from Indian knowledge system. Another another point is that he is said to have lit. He started a lamp. He is said to have lit the oven at Dharmasalai in 1867, and the fire has not been extinguished since then. It is still there. Continuously, it is glowing. This light, that is what Vallalar called it, divine light. And still people are believing that it is a divine light. So with this introduction about his philosophy, I would like to go here and there, what was his background and how he has developed all these things, especially some, as I outlined now, few philosophical concepts. The philosophy of Saint Ramalinga is based on the ancient ideals of life of the Tamil land. And why I am this line I would like to emphasize again. The philosophy of Saint Ramalinga is based on the ancient ideals of life of the Tamil land. And Tamil land is known for its Nayanmars and Alvars. And it is known for Sanatan Dharma or Hinduism or Bharatiya Jnana Parambara, whatever you call it. Why I am emphasizing it, some of the so-called paid intellectuals in Tamil Nadu, they were trying to say that he is different. He is not following the Bharatiya tradition. He is something different and revolutionary, and he came to destroy what you call in general Hinduism. Some of them are claiming it. And to deny that, in the beginning itself, I said his philosophy is based on the ancient ideals of life of the Tamil land. He was well acquainted with Shaiva tradition, Shaivesham, Shaiva Siddhanta. He is acquainted with that. In fact, he inherited Shaiva Siddhanta. And well, Thirumandiram, That is one of the important works of Shaiva Siddhanta. He is very well familiar with that, and he knows about Tirumandiram and other literature of Shaiva tradition. These ancient philosophical thoughts and practices were assimilated by him and elucidated in terms and methods suitable to his time. Many considered Saint Ramalinga as a socio-religious reformer and revolutionary, mystic, philosopher, prophet, poet, preacher, seer, servant, humanitarian, and compassionate lover of all living beings. These are all the titles many people used to give. Of all these, to my opinion, he stands as a mystic as well as practical philosopher. This is what I would like to say. Whatever that taking place now in the socio-economic sphere, now at present, were the dream of Saint Ramalinga. To his closely contemporary reformers and philosophers, I can say Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Dayananda Saraswati, Rajaram Mohan Rai. He may be placed above Rajaram Mohan Rai and equally with others. Unfortunately, Saint Ramalinga is not widely known to non-Tamil speaking world, as I said earlier. Keeping Indian, this is a quotation that I would like to say, quote, keeping Indian national unity as the foundation and raising on it the edifice of the social unity of man, Saint Ramalinga had flown aloft the flag of universal, pure, and righteous path, symbolizing spiritual love and universal brotherhood, underlying the unity of all living beings. This is the quotation that I refer from Mapo Sivanyanam, one of the great political leader of Tamil Nadu during, and a freedom fighter also. In his book, see, very few worthy English translation are available. One, Dr. Ganapati, and another is Mapo Sivanyanam. These two books are really a good translation of Vallalar. Not Ganapati, sorry, Dr. M. Shanmugam and Mapo Sivanyanam. And I read both the books. That's why, based on that, I am talking about it. So in his book, we find this quotation. That is, his philosophy is nothing but the foundation is from the, what you call the Vedic and other traditions of this land. And he explained his philosophy. In the context of large-scale human sufferings, Vallala, as popularly known, tried to remove the ignorance and indifference of the people at that time. His mission, his work, was to lead the whole humanity in the path of compassion, so that they realize the identity of the soul in all the living beings. He is the firm believer that the soul within me is the same in other living beings. He demonstrated and practiced through his acts, and he had realized that the soul within him and other living beings was the same, and the possibility of everyone to realize the same. See, that is the confidence of all our seers and saints and philosophers in this land, that it is not only such saints who realized it. They believe that everyone can do it. If you have the initiation, if you have the effort, it is possible. It is not only few can realize what is that, the unity of soul. Everyone can do it. And he believed it. The ultimate aim of life is to merge with the supreme reality. Some tradition, some systems of philosophy say it is a realization. He says it is what you call merging with the ultimate reality. That is, this soul is not different from that ultimate soul or Atman or Brahman, what you call. Other traditions are telling that it is realization of that, whereas here he says it is merging with that soul, with Atman, with the cosmos, with that Brahman. How it is? It is not after the death. That is what he called deathless life. With the physical body where he is living, he demonstrated that he merged with that light, the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality, he calls it as a light, divine light. And the predecessor, some of the Shaiva saints also spoke about this. But here, Ramalinga demonstrated it. That is the unique, which I had already told you. His religion is universal brotherhood that embraces all living beings. The ultimate state of man and the universe is not merely liberation from the mundane world, but it is their transfiguration by which they are merged with the reality. That reality for him is light of Godhead. That's why he lit that lamp in Vadalur. Still it is burning. It is there. Where he disappeared, the room where he disappeared, that light is there. And it was witnessed and by the many people at the time, and it was recorded in the Gazette also by the Britisher who were ruling at the time. He started his reformative movement with a strong belief in Shaivism, as I already told you. He did not reject the texts and practices envisaged in Shaiva Siddhanta, but goes beyond it. He was influenced by Saint Trivijnana Sambandar and sang about 4 Samayacharyas. Sambandar, Appar, Sundarar, all these are called Shaiva saints, important 4 saints. Though he never went to any guru, he regarded Saint Sambandar as his spiritual guru. By deep study of Devaram, it is one of the texts of Shaiva Siddhanta, he had undergone different steps as in a ladder to realize the nature of self. No doubt that he was the follower of Shaivism. Another important commentator, B.K. Pillai, he said, why I am again emphasizing that he is against traditional Shaivism? No. Even in his lifetime itself, there was even a court case also was there. So that is a different story. People can Google it and know what is it. He was the follower of Shaivism. That is that. It's the firm evidences are there. He adored the Hindu scriptures, but not approved the interpretation of some of the orthodox savant. Saint Ramalinga's philosophy is not a new one again. He inherits Shaiva saints. What is unique in his philosophy is transcending all the philosophies and religion. There are many forerunners to him who inquired the truth from the standpoint of particular religion or philosophy. For example, Tayumanava's philosophy is Vedanta, Siddhanta, Samarasam. Shankara is integrative work, known as Shanmada Stapaka, that is integrator of 6 schools of philosophy. In the case of Saint Ramalinga, he tried to unite the philosophies and showed a way to transcend them. The earlier saints before Saint Ramalinga had few followers. Why? Because their writings their poetic renderings are very difficult to understand by ordinary people, whereas Saint Ramalinga clearly explained his philosophy in prose form and simple poems, and thus he had huge following. I would like to say a few words about the concept of Satya and concept of reality. What is concept of Satya according to Saint Ramalinga? Satya, or the truth, concept of truth, is important in his philosophy. He named his philosophy as Sanmargam, means a path in search of truth. In Tamil, it is Sanmargam, that it is a path in search of truth. That is what the ultimate goal of every system of Indian philosophy, orthodox systems of Indian philosophy. He constructed a hall which he called Satya Jnana Sabha, wherein the devotees are expected to meditate on their own heart. Every religion and philosophical system have truth in it, no doubt. One should not restrict to a particular system. That is his advice to his followers. When one realizes that there are truth in all the system, it is possible to transcend and know the fundamental truth, which is the basis of all religion. He himself read the texts and underwent all the practices and realized the fundamental principles behind those systems, like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He realized that love is the basis for human life. And all systems are based on love. Saint Ramalinga realized that truth is the basis for individual being and cosmos also. It is temporarily covered by impurities, which were symbolically depicted in 7 screens installed in the Satya Jnana Sabha. Our Indian tradition also says that there are koshas, Annamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, Anandamaya kosha, like that, one by one, if you remove what is there inside, that is what we call pure self. The same way he taught us. He said that there are 7 wheels, 7 screens that obstruct our vision of the light. In that, what you call Satya Jnana Sabha in Vadalur near Chidambaram, there are 7 screens. You have to go through these 7 screens and you see the light, which is continuously burning. So it is a symbolic representation. So you know well that how he is inheriting the Bharatiya tradition. The divine light in the center of the temple, which can be seen after removing these impure screens, representing the divine dance of light in the heart of the individual being. Outside it is demonstrated, inside it you have to realize it. You have to remove one by one these impurity, these screens, and you find the light within you. That's what you are telling. His philosophy of Sanmarga may be said to be the path to light. After removing the wheels that engulf the soul, one after another, the brilliant light of the soul is realized. That is within us. This is same as auspicious being or Arut Perum Jodi. He called it Arut Perum Jodi. That is the divine light within one. Then what is the concept of reality according to him? The reality is one which is in everything in the universe. The apparent duality or what you call many things or diversity. All this disappear when one realizes that all living beings are interconnected and are part of one reality. However, he rejected the absolutist conception of reality as in Advaita and composed songs in pluralistic theism. So some may call he is very close to Vaishnavism, that is Visishtadvaita. In the 6th Tirumurai, that is, the Tirumurai is the name of the book, collection of all his poems, is called Tirumurai. In the 6th book, he indicated that he was a devotee of God in the formless mode. The nature of reality is grace, greatness, and light. Like any theistic schools, Saint Ramalinga considers that the soul is Anu, Atan, Anu, and God as Vibhul. The soul is dependent upon God. That is, the Anu is depending upon God. After many stages of inquiry, the soul merges with God. Being influenced by Shaiva tradition, Saint Ramalinga accepted only Shiva as God. Shiva means Satchidananda for him. Shiva means the infinity, pure, the omnipotent. So his interpretation is based on basic truth of scriptures. So this, I am telling a reply to some of the paid intellectuals in Tamil Nadu who are telling that he is against the Hindu scriptures. Anyone can name him according to his individual wish. He is against Sanatan. He is a social reformer. He is against caste system. He is a revolutionary. Anyone can name him according to his own, what you call, wish. Quote. Hindu religion allows the worship of single God, right? Instead of multiple one. This kind of worship helps the man to concentrate, and for worship, this is also an easy way. A sadhaka, to start with, he has to have a personal God, whatever may be. Once he is transcending, he realizing the truth, all these things will disappear. In the quote. The 5 parts of Thiruvarutpad are full of praising the various deities containing the precepts of Saivism. The last part talks about the experience. That is the 6th one. Everything is possible if one praises God. So at the beginning, one may start with any personal God, and the final experience is the merger with the formless divine light. This is his ultimate goal and his philosophy. In Saint Ramalinga's Sanmarga philosophy, God is one and has 3 forms, like Shaiva Siddhanta and some of the traditions also. That is form, formless, and form without form. Again, he is inheriting the Shaiva Siddhanta. Rupa, Arupa, Rupa, Raupa. Rupa, Arupa. This is the 3 different forms. The form without form is visualized as a supreme grace light. Saint Ramalinga, he visualized it as a light. What do you call the form without form? That is Arupa Rupa. It is light. That is Arut.
Hello, 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 hello. No, no, no. Uh, it's not audible and not visible also.
What is this live sharing on YouTube? What is this?
There in all particles of matter. Sir, do you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going ahead. God is there in all particles of matter, senses, actions, and experiences, and everything else. Here, we can compare the modern cosmologists like Higgs boson, whose theory says that a type of God particle, it's a type of, he called it as a God particle, is the fundamental to everything in the universe. He is in all living things, and in him all livings are found. That is in Arutpa, 6th book. He says, he, that is the God, the Almighty, he is in all living things, and in him all livings are found. In Tamil, he says, Uyirul Yamum, Yemmul Uyirum.
In you I am, all in me. Upanishadic statement, recall the Upanishadic statement, which says, that which is without is identical with that which is within. Right? This is what he is trying to explain. Again, refer Bhagavad Gita, also talks the same. All living things are simply the manifestation of the light of God, says Ramalinga. Hence, his philosophy is not new, but the method to achieve the self-realization, and his declaration to achieve that in this life is what you call unique. With the physical body itself, you can realize that he demonstrated. Saint Ramlinga started his philosophy with Shaivism, as I told you earlier, and developed his own with all good aspects of various theistic schools of philosophy. His Samarasa Suddha Sanmargam is an integrated philosophy which accepts the truth of various religious philosophies. All pervasive aspects of reality are included in his philosophy. His religion is the religion of humanism, love and grace. He explained the oneness of his life and the self in all the living beings. Sanmargam means inquiry into truth, which I told you earlier. Search after truth. Samarasam means the middle path, which considered all religious philosophies alike. So Samarasa Suddha Sanmargam aims at transcending all philosophies and religion. This is his concept. Then one may ask, what is this path consist of? And what is that one gets by following his path? The way Samarasa Suddha Sanmargam, also known as the universal, pure and righteous path. In English, you can translate it as a universal, pure and righteous path. In this path, Saint Ramalinga shows love and compassion to all. And by doing so, the followers get the self-realization with the help of the grace from God. That's why a famous rendering in Tamil, and many might have heard about it. Vaadiya pairai kandabodellam nanum vaadinen. That is, even the plants without water, without food, if it is starving, so his heart is burning. That is his side. That is, that much is the compassion to all the living as well as non-living beings. Not only human beings, even the plant life. The end of righteous path is the revelation of the means of attaining immortality. That is the end. That is the aim of the path. That is attaining immortality, deathless life, what he says. Ramalinga was convinced that man could lead an immortal life that is called deathless life. The followers of this righteous path see the divine in every man. Again, it is the basic concept of our Vedic tradition. The Upanishads too declare that everything in the universe is divine in nature. They need not shun the mythologies. What is needed is the awareness that all lives are the same as ours. What is within me is the same in others. There is no need of rigorous yoga or penance to know this, to understand this. The grace of God can be attained through love, and love can be gained through kindness to all life. To conduct ourselves without harm to other being is kindness. That itself is a kindness. This is the first step for the attainment of the final goal of bliss. So there are more than 12 stages to be crossed to reach this final goal. These are the methods he talks, and it takes a different dimension if I go deep in that. If anyone can know. If you want to know that, it is easy. You have good books on that, and you can read. I'm just giving you a glimpse. Prayer brings awareness. That is the path he is trying to say. What is that his path contains? It is the first thing is that kindness to every other living being. Then prayer that brings awareness. To contemplate God in the form of images is a certain kind of worship. Because you have to start with it. Some form we need. Saint Ramlinga approves idol worship as a tacit convention in the case of common people. See, there are people like me, I need some notes. I need some books to refer. But there are many great philosophers here, professors are here. At extempore, they can easily talk, is it not? So for an ordinary person, you need a personal God, an idol. Then once you realize, you cross the step by step, that some 12 steps, stages, you need not have this God, a formless, form, God with a form. That is formless God, you can realize it. So to start with that, you need an idol to worship. He advocated equality among human beings, men, women, and all. There's no caste system, there's no caste hierarchy. So he advocated equality. And this is another step for attainment of that divine grace. They can also advance equally, that is, women also can equally advance with men, not only in spiritual, in all the fields. Swami Vivekananda and Saint Ramalinga were in the same plane when they insisted that nurturing the body is very important. Nurturing the body was needed for divine communion. Who are fit enough for this righteous path then? Those who are completely free from religion and creed, those who have controlled their lust and hatred by their wisdom, those who have avoided killing and flesh eating, are fit for seeking this pure and righteous path. This is the only qualification he is telling to the followers of his philosophy. For this purpose, he started an order that functioned as a social organization, transcending scriptures, canons, mythologies, etc. That's why some of the people are saying that he is against the scriptures. But he is transcending them. He established 4 principal institutions, emphasized 4 codes, and stressed 4 disciplines. Again, you can see what are these by Google it, you will know. The movement of spiritual love and universal brotherhood is the combination of all these organization codes and disciplines. So he called it as a spiritual love and universal brotherhood. The house which I was referring, he established, which is called Truth and Charity. That was established, I said earlier, in 1867 to feed the poor as a mark of service for the realization of spiritual love and universal brotherhood. So another important step in realizing this ultimate goal is helping the poor, feeding the poor. Saint Ramlinger believed that only after removing hunger, people's moral character shall develop. Clearly, a forerunner to Swami Vivekananda, is it not? Hunger is not the disease of the body. It is the affliction of the soul. On seeing the hungry and the poor, the saint sings, the equal, the high and low, all mankind should conduct worldly life in harmony. This is a quotation. He is singing like this, quote, the equal, the high and low, all mankind should conduct worldly life in harmony, end quote. The aim of kindness is the end of hunger. That is what he called kindness towards other living beings, other beings, or compassion to other beings. The symbolic is to remove the hunger. quenching the hungry with the food is kindness to living beings. That's why he said, "Vaadiye payirai kanda podellam vaadine." Safeguarding the body, that is this. You have to keep your body so that you can achieve it, because this body is the abode of divine. Kindness to living beings, that is all living beings. Only by this one receives the grace of God. Experience, understanding, and love can save the human beings. Mere abstract philosophy and rituals are not enough. He insisted on constant inquiry into one's own self. If not possible, individually do it or collectively do it. If not possible individually, do it collectively. That is satsang. Inspiration for Ramana Maharishi. Shall I say like that? The movement, Samarasa Suddha Sanmargam, is like Shaivism in the sense that both are theistic, pluralistic, and realistic. The only difference is while Shaivism is God-centric, whereas Ramalingam, his movement is man-centric. I mean what you call man-centric. That's why he is called as a humanistic. That is the reason he started and established many social institutions. His active love and compassion implies activity in the world to relieve the distress. So it is not simply keeping quiet after realizing it, after realizing the soul within me is the same as the outside. It is one should practice active love and compassion by various activities in the world. To people, that is the service you can do it. So to sum up some of the ideas which I have said, what I was trying to tell, Saint Ramalinga is actually inherited from the ancient tradition of Tamil, especially with regard to love and compassion, which are required for a spiritual journey. So this is the first point that I would say. He has introduced a novel technique in the practical realization of Godhead, hitherto unknown to the philosophical world, that is, transformation of the body itself. Another point that I have just mentioned is his contribution is the state of deathlessness. In fact, he demonstrated that by disappearing into the divine light, and it was recorded. And many records at that time, the government records, the British record shows that he disappeared simply in that light. So he practiced that deathlessness. That is life, deathless life, we can say. In fact, he demonstrated it publicly. His philosophy is known as Samarasa Suddha Sanmargam. His God is Arut Perunjodi. That is what you call supreme grace light. His mantra is Arut Perunjodi Taniperum Karunai. That is his mantra. That means you can translate like this: supreme grace light, supreme universal compassion. His society is Sanmarga, where no distinction of caste, creed, color, or country, all these things. His world is Jiva Karunyam. His mission is that everyone on earth enjoys the bliss of immortality. So Saint Ramalinga is relevant even today, when the whole world is entangled in the web of hatred, suspicion, and bridled consumerism. These are all the ills of the humanity now in the world. His edifying gospel of spiritual love and the universal brotherhood should assume significance today. I end with the rendering. Any scholar, or any follower, or any person who talks about Ramalinga end or start with this mantra. That is what I said earlier. Arutperum Jodi, Arutperum Jodi. Taniperum Karunai, Arutperum Jodi. Means, I have already told you, realization of the existence of grace, light all over. In other words, I can say the direct perception of and coming into communion with the omnipresence, supreme grace light. This is the meaning of this mantra. Arutperum Jodi, Arutperum Jodi, Taniperum Karunai, Arutperum Jodi. Thank you, sir, all of you, for listening me very patiently without any interruption. Of course, I got my computer, network is not there, disruption is there, and I switched it to mobile. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much, sir, for your very illuminating talk on the philosophy of Swami Ramlingan. And you have very beautifully presented how Swami Ramlinga's philosophy is very relevant in the present society. And being a great humanitarian, reformer, mystic, practical philosopher, a preacher of a universal brotherhood and compassion, he has uh, he has many contributions for the present society, for spiritualizing the human minds. And you have very clearly said that how he said that the soul within me is the same in others. And he has demonstrated practically what he taught. You have said that how he said that the soul is not self, is yourself. It is existing, it's the existing being. It is not limited by any personal existence. It is the same in all existence. It is equal to all things. You have said that how all living beings are interconnected according to his philosophy. And it may be the spiritual law, or it may be the universal brotherhood, or it may be the religious oneness, it may be the law of compassion. And this process can lead us towards the self relation and unity of soul and compassion. He said that we see the self in all. We become one being with all beings in the spiritual basis of our existing, because everything is connected with each other. Every being is connected with each other. And Swami Ramlinga has reflected it in his Tamil poems. One should not be restricted in a particular system to realize this truth. And because you have said that how for Ramlinga truth is universal, it is temporarily covered by some impurities, some screens, and when the screens are over, then we can realize the truth, and the divine light is seen. It is realized by everybody when all things are unfolded. And you have said how the soul is dependent upon God, and it is also Vedantic in approach. So you have very clearly reflected the entire philosophy of Swami Ramlinga, which is the present context, and which is very relevant for all of us. Your talk has really inspired all of us. Now I would request Professor Dr. K. Omnana Rao to carry on the interactive session. Over to Dr. Rao.
Namaskar, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Sambath Kumar, sir, for beautiful talk. And also thank Kailash Nana, sir, for giving a brief synopsis of the talk of Dr. Sambath Kumar. Well, we have with us Dr. Srinivasa Krishnamurthy, sir. Well, he belongs to that land and he understands much better the philosophy of Ramalinga Vallalar. So may I request Dr. Srinivasan Krishnamurthy Iyer, sir, to start up with his observations, remarks, and suggestions, if any.
Pranams and namaste to all. and my sincere respects goes to our dear Professor Dr. Sambath Kumar for his lucid explanation of Saint Ramalinga's philosophy in a very nice and splendid manner. I don't think that anyone can buy his Saint Ramalinga's philosophy as Mr. Sambath Kumar has clearly said about it on various aspects, especially when he dealt with his mantra Arupperanjodi Arupperanjodi Thanipperungarnai Arupperanjodi. And also he spoke about our relationship, emphasized the need for us to cultivate nature, which was his innate philosophy, that he was really pained to see even a very poor plant without water. Just imagine how a person can survive even for 2 days, I would say even for 2 hours, without a cup of water. So water is the essential aspect which Saint Ramalinga has indirectly emphasized about our attachment to all the souls in this humanity, whether it is living beings or non-living beings. It's something really wonderful, and at the same time I am tempted to say which in Vedic philosophy spiritualism Patanjali Maharishi has very clearly said about it in a sloga in first chapter. I think it is 34th or 35th sloga, wherein he said Bhava Pratyaya Prakriti Layanam. That means one who is in the contemplative or meditative state and having crossed the conscious state of, a position of samadhi, having migrated to non-conscious state, and finally he was stuck up with one object called the nature. So the contemplator or the meditator who is attached with nature was not able to proceed further in his penance or samadhi level. That is because his love for nature has brought him down to the level again and again. In the next birth he was so happy to see that he was brought back to this earth and again attached with nature. And that was his philosophy. Saint Ramalinga was attached. It is indeed really realistic that Vadiya Pairai Kandu Vadineen Nan. So when he felt pained, when he saw the plant which was waterless and was withering, it is something that he could not tolerate. It is something to be thought of. In the present day generation, I think many of the people are not, or rather deeply interested in studying our own Saint Vallalar's philosophy, because we are carried away by the attractions and the other aspects, and they coolly forget about nature. And that was one of the reasons why we are not getting adequate rains, that we are not cultivating the forest, we are not cultivating the plants, and we are not caring about the nature. It is something to be really wondered, and we had to speak in many forums about the attachment of Saint Vallalar to nature as well as the living souls, that all souls are one and the same, with a universal philosophy and compassion is really to be appreciated. And I would like to share three aspects in this. That Vedatri Maharishi was a great father of Saint Vallalar, that in I think in Pollachi, which is the Vedatri ashram, he has formed a small town called Arutperenjodi Nagar. I was wonderstruck. How come that Vedatri Maharishi was so influenced by Ramalinga's philosophy, as he was able to live according to the traditions, and also named one of the small colonies in his name is indeed to be really appreciated. And the second point is that the attachment of Vedatri Maharishi with Saint Vallalar has come out as a book in Amazon, as well as in other book publications which you can see, and also in Tamil, various people have written about Vedatri Maharishi and also Saint Vallalar. The third point I would like to emphasize is that in the cinematic field was attracted by Shivaji Ganesan, Gemini Ganesan and MGR those days, when in 1971 there was a film which came in the name of Arutperin Jodi, which was acted by T.S. Balachandar and actress Devagi. It did not catch the impression of the many of the people, because they are all in the matinee world and they are carried away by the love and other actions of Shivaji Ganesan, MGR and Gemini Ganesan. And it was not a very successful film, is indeed to be really thought of. The third one is when Dr. Sambath Kumar was emphasizing about the middle path is really to be appreciated. And I felt, why should I deeply engross myself in Vedic studies and then go beyond the limit of understanding, whereas the same thing is available through Saivism of the Nalvar called Thirignana Sambandha, Appar and Sundarar and Manikavachakar. It was only Manikavachakar who commended and praised about the Arutperin Jodi, and it was taken as a token of love by Sri Vallalar. These are the points I would like to handle. And universal pure righteousness path and love and compassion to all is the core philosophy of Saint Ramalinga, was indeed worth mentioning. I have visited his ashram in 1967, and also when I was a college planning forum member, and I visited the NLC en route in Kadalur. En route I went to this place, Vadalur, where I could visit the shrine of Saint Vallalar, and had a darshan of this Arutperin Jodi, the beautiful light which I have seen there, and also taken food. At the same time, I visited the house where he lived, but unfortunately or fortunately it was locked. And again in 1992, I visited so many times. I could not hear more about Vallalar in those times, but then the light has come out of the bag, and then the truth is that he merged with the light is indeed that I am able to understand it very nicely. And I thank you immensely, wholeheartedly about the philosophy emphasized by Professor Dr. Sambath Kumar. I really appreciate the admin for having, invited our professor to speak on the philosophy, and I am thankful and grateful to sir. And I have no questions on that, because the philosophy is so simple, lucid, and candid. He expressed it very nicely. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Srinivasan, for your observations. Very nicely said. And well, one thing that comes from your observations, well, no doubt, as Dr. Sambath Kumar sir has said, well, his philosophy is more of a humanistic thought. But even Dr. Sambath Kumar even pointed out that he had a great care for the animals, flora, I mean, the flora and fauna. So eventually, even you highlighted on the point that Ramalinga, Swami Ramalinga Valala was very much sympathetic towards the entire nature. So to call Ramalinga Vallala's philosophy as man-centric, rather, I think it would be more appropriate to call his philosophy as cosmocentric, because he was pointing at not just the human beings, it's not just man-centric, it was cosmocentric, because nature was given more primacy. So thank you, Dr. Sampat Kumar and Dr. Srinivasan. Thank you so much for your thoughts on Saint Vallalar, because we have never listened to Saint Vallalar, and thank you, Sampat Kumar sir, for bringing this ancient wisdom to life. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I request somebody else to have some questions or observations on the talk of Dr. Sampat Kumar. I'll wait for a half a minute if anybody is interested. Well, during the same time, I have a small query, because much of the philosophy, as even Dr. Sambat Kumar said, and even uh, Srinivasan sir said, well, one thing I could not understand was the state of deathlessness, number one, and the state, the practical demonstration of being invisible in a room where he locked himself and suddenly he was found, it was not, he turned invisible. Well, we have listened to, we have stories concerning the invisible man. Okay, now it's concerning the invisible man. But when, as you say, it was recorded in the Gazette during the British days. So what was this all about? How this happened? A brief idea on how this actually was demonstrated to the public, or how people could know that he attained the state of invisibility, or he totally disappeared, the body disappeared, to have his soul united with the super soul. Any, sir, please, a few lines on this, so that we can at least have an idea of what exactly was this, the state of getting disappeared. Thank you so much. Please.
Yes, thank you for the observations made by Dr. Srinivasan and Dr. Chandra. Actually, they added many ideas. I mean, ideas about Ramalinga to my talk, actually. See, the point which Rao was telling is deathless life. That means what you normally we people are telling that the end of our life is death, right? This mortal body is consumed to the earth, and death is the end of our life, right? This is normal practice. But what he says that it is possible for us to merge with the light, divine light, with the physical body. How is it possible? It is, and of course, it is beyond our senses. It's our normal understanding. But he has demonstrated it. That's what I said. It's a practical and demonstrated it. As Dr. Srinivasan was telling that Manika Vasagar was telling about this, but we don't have any record that he disappeared. That is in 7th, 8th century he lived. So we have no records whether he also practiced that deathless life. We don't know. But he mentioned it, that Arutparam Jyoti, that one can merge with the light, the divine light. See, what other text of Indian tradition say about the realization? The moksha, what is the ultimate goal? It is the realization of Atma, and which is nothing but the Brahman. That realization is possible by removing the ignorance and all, and every system of Indian tradition is prescribing some ways to achieve the goal. Ramalinga practiced it and demonstrated it. It is possible. So this is deathless life, and this is recorded by the present, at that time, the government. So we have to believe. How is it possible with the what you call scientific mind, the analyzing mind, and always thinking binary, this or that? We don't go beyond that. This is the nature of current man, either positive or negative. Either, see, it is obvious that we have the end of our life is death. That we are seeing everywhere. So we are not ready to believe that what happened. It is a mere disappearance. It is merging with the light. That's what he said in his philosophy and demonstrated. And there are many writings about that. And the British records are telling it happened in the presence of many witnesses, and the British official was also there. And I think Dr. Srinivasan may throw some light on it. Later, the collector visited that place and corroborated with the people who were around that time, and he recorded it again. So deathless life is possible, which is nothing but merging with the physical body to the light, divine light.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for the response, sir. Well, uh, bringing this Indian knowledge system, actually, this is the time where even the Indian government is much concerned about the ancient studies what the people have done in the past, and now it's trying to bring to light. In the last talk to even Dr. Sambath Kumar talked about the Indian knowledge system. Today too, he has tried to bring in thinkers of the past, Swami Ramalinga Vallala. So this way, we are trying to unfurl the things that were hidden towards since long. So it was much restricted to the Tamil land because, as you said, Saint Ramalinga Vallala is not much known to all. But now that this thing has been made known to us, thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, for your effort. Thanks for this effort for bringing the ancient texts to life. Thank you so much, sir. Well, we have with us others. But Ravani madam says something in that message. I'll go to that. But before that, if somebody wants to make some comment there, then sir. I'll wait for half a minute. Well, in the meantime, I'll look for the message. I request our admin, Professor Das, to have it observation. Professor Das.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. This is really a
The Professor Das, are you there?
yes. Am I audible, sir?
Both audible and visible.
Really, it is a new topic, and when our esteemed speakers come with new topics, it gives us immense pleasure because in philosophy we should know new things. Here we came across with two highlighted terms, such as one is light and the other is grace. In the entire talk, these two words have been highlighted, and that is the symbol of Advaita. That means there is no duality, there is no diversity. Anything is visible in light when there is a chance of darkness, otherwise, nothing is visible. In heavy light, suppose in broad daylight, we cannot see the thing. If there is a contrast, then only we can see the thing. That means light is the symbol of oneness, where the duality disappears. In heavy light, something will be visible if there is a contrast, there is darkness. Divine grace is like that. Knowledge is like that. So knowledge is compared with light. In heavy, in the highest knowledge, there is no chance of ignorance. Similarly, in the subtlest grace of the divine, in the divine grace, there is no chance of impurity. So this is the stage of realization. If one can reach that stage where there is only light and there is no chance of darkness, where there is only divine grace, there is no chance of impurity, when there is only unity, there is no chance of diversity. Though diversities are there, compassion is there, our empathy is there for the fellow beings, the flora and the fauna, but in the state of knowledge, no duality, no diversity. This is also Advaita Vedanta. In Advaita Vedanta, we know that. So this is I think this is possible. Deathless life is possible in Samadhi state. In Samadhi state, that is possible. Here we don't mean the death of the physical body. There is no awareness of death. That awareness is lost. So this is possible by spiritual sadhana. One can disappear himself from the vision of the people who are living in the empirical world with empirical insight, empirical knowledge, having ignorance, having limitations. For them, the enlightened man is not visible. In Bhagavad Gita, this is Vishwarupa Darshana. This is only visible to a person whom Lord Krishna gave the Divya Chakra. Otherwise, it is not possible. But it is easily possible. It was easily visible by Lord Krishna. Only he can visualize the Vishwarupa Darshana. Vishwarupa Darshana means the totality. The totality. The totality is never visible to us. We simply perceive the part. And science is that. Science simply perceives the part. Therefore, it is relative by nature. The totality is not perceived by a common man. Therefore, Arjuna was incapable of perceiving the totality. And when the totality is not perceived, we are not perfect in our action, we are not perfect in our devotion, we are not perfect in our knowledge. And that is possible by spiritual sadhana. Very simple, very lucid, very clear. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I am grateful to you. Please come to our family with new topics. And whenever we are inviting you, you will understand that it is the right time to see you on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well said. Well said. Actually, sir, when I was last talk about the Bharatiya Jnana Parambara, about that I was talking, right?
Yes,
At
sir.
the time I appealed to every regional language. There are many such people, seers and saints and literatures available in every languages. So the youngsters should bring such literature and science to other people. I mean, suppose there are great men in Oriya, great literature in Oriya. You can bring it so that people like me can understand it.
Very
This
nice,
is how
sir.
we can exchange.
Very nice.
As a part of that tradition, I thought of giving this talk on Ramalinga.
Very nice. Very nice, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Das, for very beautifully explaining the concepts, and grateful to you for being so clear expressing, interpreting the talk of Dr. Sambath Kumar. Well, in Odisha too, we have a saint poet like the sort of Ramalinga Vallala in the form of Bhima Bhai. Okay, he is okay, and there is a Bhima Bhai chair now throughout India. Many centers have established what is called as Bhima Bhai chair, a blind poet, and has even in Delhi University, there is a chair called Bhima Bhai chair, and wherein the attempt is to, the way you said, to unfurl the greatness in the regional languages. I mean, the philosophies hidden in the scriptures of the regional languages. The way you brought in the ideas of Ramalinga Wallalar. Similarly, Bhima Bhai, a rich tradition, and he speaks of what is called as Mahima Dharma, where there is a talk of a formless absolute, okay, much in line with the Advaita tradition. So now it is a part of the curriculum. Very soon it is going to be a part of the curriculum, not only in Odisha, throughout the nation. It is going to be a part of the curriculum. So these things definitely will help the future scholars to work um, um, on the philosophies that are hidden in the regional languages. Thank you so much, sir. Well, one thing which I got from Professor Das, well, a big difference with Advaitic tradition. Well, what I could get from Dr. Sambath Kumar is that though there is a trend of Advaitic thought, but as Dr. Sambath Kumar said, that his ideas, Ramalinga Vallala's ideas, are much in line with Ramanuja's Visishta Advaita rather than Shankara's Advaita, because he was not, Ramalinga Vallala was not in favor of finding an absolute reality, because uh, something which I think, because Ramalinga Vallala, even he was seeing the reality, the connecting thread, even in the life forms and also in the nature. Okay, so that way, somehow, as even Dr. Sambath Kumar said, that Ramalinga Vallala's philosophy comes a bit closer to or resembles Visishta Advaita rather than the Advaita Vedanta of Shankaracharya. Thank you so much, sir. Well, I request somebody else. Doctor, yes,
Hello? Hello?
audible, sir. Audible.
Okay. You were telling about the Orissa, Pandits and other people. I was also reminded of the the Saint Jayadeva, who spoke about Ashtapadi. I think it's world popular in that. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jayadeva, Gita Govinda, Jayadeva, Gita Govinda, very, very popular. Very popular. Yeah. So I request somebody else who wants to make some observations. Well, we have with us Vrindavan Mahapatra sir. Would you like to say something, sir? Vrindavan sir, would you like to speak something? Dr. Maharana? Yes, Vrindavan sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Namaskar, sir. Please.
Am I audible, sir? Am I audible?
Sir, audible and visible, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, uh, Sambath Kumar, Professor Sambath Kumar has explained very nicely a new thing. I came to know a new thing. But a very simple thing I would like to him. I would like to ask him that lifeless death is related to Jivana Mukti or something like that. Please, sir.
It is actually not Jivan Mukti, living even after realization. That's what we call Jivan Mukti, right? That is during life itself, we have realized. There are saints and philosophers like Ramakrishna Bhagavatam, who was, after realizing what is that ultimate reality, lived. Whereas deathless life is that just disappearing. That is what with his body, with his mortal body, with his physical body. That's what he called merging with the divine light. So that's what I said. His philosophy and demonstration is a unique compared to other saints and philosophers in our tradition.
Okay. Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Sambath Kumar. Well, one very nicely that it is not given mukti, the way you think of it is not given mukti. It is total disappearance of the physical body to become one with that ultimate. Okay, it's a total disappearance. Okay, it's something new that we have learned. Thank you so much.
Maybe a part of Videga Mukti, not Jivan Mukti, maybe a part of Videga Mukti. I may be
Hello, sir.
correct or
Not
wrong.
audible.
Yes, audible.
See, you are talking about Jivan Mukti. That is not Jivan Mukti, it is Videga Mukti.
A specific form. Yes, well, Dr. Krishnamurthy sir has said, well, it's maybe a specific form of it, a special form of Vidya Mukti. Well, Dr. Sambath Kumar will clarify on this.
Sir, one thing, though I was talking very passionately about Ramalinga's philosophy and the deathless life, suppose there is no evidence as recorded by the people at that time. Just like in the case of Manika Vasagar, who lived in 7th century, he was also advocating about this. Since we don't have any evidence, we have never thought of that deathless life or merging with the what you call light, divine light. But still, as a discerning mind, or what I call as analytic mind, which we have, still I don't believe it. How can I believe it? How is it possible this body will disappear? Is it against the scientific principle? Is it not? If you think in that line, it is not. We don't believe it, simply. That's what some of the so-called progressive intellectual thinking. Since there is an evidence, since there is recorded evidence, he disappeared. So we have to believe. So it is possible. Only thing that most of us, we don't even believe it. That's why we are in this state of confusion, whether it is a Jivan Mukti or Videga Mukti, or how is it possible to have such a deathless life? No, not only you have that doubt, sir, 99% of this generation will have this doubt. But only solace we have is the evidence. That too not recorded by our black men, our fellow men. It is recorded by a white man. So naturally you have to believe, because white men never say lies, right? That's what we believe. That is the colonized mind we have. So what they have said about us, we have to believe it. See, actually my end note is something, what you call pessimistic, you may think. But still, in heart, I believe what Ramalinga did is real a demonstration. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sambath Kumar. Well, one thing comes to my mind. When we carry the body, we have the body. There is no point denying this. Number one, but there is a realization. There is a state of realization where I understand there is a deep-rooted knowledge that I am not the body. When I say I am not the body. So this is very true to the Indian culture and tradition. I am the self. I carry the body, but I have a realization that I am not the body. I am the self. So even though I am carrying my body, there is a realization within that I am not the body. I am the self, and the self is eternal. Since the self is eternal, I carry the body. I have no meaning to the body. I have meaning to the self, which is eternal. So I have a life which is destiny. Okay, so that way we can take this maybe. I may be
Dr.
wrong,
Rao,
but
Dr. Rao,
yes, sir. Yes.
um, we can understand that by giving an example. Suppose you have a pain in your body, but you can't feel it. Two persons. There is a slight pain, but somebody is taking it very seriously, very much conscious about his pain. He is running to the doctor, he needs immediate treatment, he cannot tolerate it. Many people ignore this pain as if there is no pain at all. Similarly, hunger. Somebody is somebody is just meal time approaches, they are very much worried. They are half hour late, very much conscious. That's good. But sometimes, in some circumstances, situation will come. We have to tolerate our hunger as if there is no hunger. This is a practice. This is a practice. Similarly, we can see our absence. You can see your dead body lying behind you. So this is a spiritual sadhana. And from small things, we have to practice it. Suppose you are insulted, but you will behave as if you are not insulted. That will not touch you. Therefore, Ramakrishna said that you come after 15 days, I shall give you medicine. Why you are suffering from loose motion? After 15 days, he said that you don't take sugar. So the mother said, why did not you tell it before 15 days? Because I was not practicing that. So what you will say, that will happen that will happen. Whatever you have realized, you have reached that stage, whatever you just speak, that will happen. That will happen. That tree will fall down, the tree will fall down. Whatever you will speak, that will take place in the empirical world. That means the empirical world will be groomed by your spiritual sadhana. Science may not admit this, therefore it is a mystery. Therefore it is a mystery. If science can explain this, then there is no mystery, no such mystery in our knowledge system. So this is possible. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Das. Well, if science can understand, then that would be the end of the world. So science has to grow on, grow on, grow on. But the day science comes to know, well, there is a state beyond seen and the known. Okay, there is something of the sort of a disappearing body where the body has no meaning. Okay, the reality lies in only the self. Okay, and that is eternal, that is never born, and that is never going to die. Well, the day may come, and that will be the end of time, and that will be the end of the civilization. I think. I don't know. So the science has to be in the dark. It has to move. It has to move. It has to move. But the day it touches this, which we don't admit, the scientific man don't admit, I think that would be the end of the day where the science has to end up. So let us wait for the day, that day when, but still, the Indian knowledge system, I think, it is so rich, it has grasped that reality which the modern science could not, I think. Well, it's a journey, and even today, the Western science is very closely assessing that much of the things in the modern science has been already contained in the ideas of the ancient Indian wisdom. Advaita, okay, even somebody, why somebody? Many have tried to draw the parallels between the Western science and the Indian tradition. So maybe, we don't know, days will come when science has to succumb to this. Let us wait for and hope for better, hope for the best. Well, Dr. Mahana wanted to say something. Along with it, let him present a vote of thanks.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Rao. I was just enjoying the talk of Dr. Sambath Kumar, and I was also enjoying the interactions made by our senior professors like Professor Srinivasan, Professor Vrindavan sir, Professor uh, Dr. K. Obnal Rao and Professor Pramod Kwadas and others. And I was also reading the chat box, which was reflected by the observation of Shravan Mishra and others. So today I was uh, I was impressed to listen the talk of the speaker, Professor Dr. Sambath Kumar, and other professors. And in the month of September, we had the opportunity to invite Dr. Sambath Kumar to speak on the topic Indian knowledge system, where he was just reflecting the philosophy of Swami Swami Ramlinga. And today we have the opportunity to listen the basic philosophy of Swami Ramlinga, and it was very clearly reflected by our speaker sir, and he was very clearly said how the philosophy and teaching of Swami Ramlinga is very practical, and whatever he was reflecting upon himself, whatever he was teaching, he was demonstrating through his philosophy of unity of soul and compassion. He has he had also he had also spoken a very good thing that has impressed me. That he has he has advised us that to think of, to reflect upon the philosophy, the sense, the teaching of the regional saints, and that of which I was intending to speak on the philosophy of Bhima Bhoi of our state and Joydev of our state, that was reflected by um, Dr. Om Naran Rao, and many things have been done for the philosophy of Bhima Bhoi and Joydev and others. And you will be very happy to know that the message of Bhima Bhoi has been reflected, has been implemented in the whole of Parliament, and even though, and many things should be undertaken to reflect and highlight the philosophy of Bhima Bhoi and others. And sir, your teaching and your advice have inspired us to do more things on the regional sense and the philosophy of regional philosophers that will do. And we'll organize a special seminar also to reflect upon the philosophy of Bhima Bhoi and others of our state. And through philosophy family, we request you to invite the young scholars to speak on the philosophy of regional saints and philosophers, so that they can be popularized and teaching can be popularized. That is in our nation. So today we have been benefited and inspired by your talk, by the very clear conceptual analysis on every concept raised by Swami Ramlinga. And we want to get more things from you in next in further interaction and further seminars that we'll conduct in future. So today I would like to propose not my vote of thanks, but extend my gratitude to Dr. Sambath Kumar sir for their benign presence, for their lovely presentation that has inspired us. And I would extend my gratitude to Srinivasan sir, who has connected you and who has connected many more scholars that is to present to present on different philosophical issues through philosophy family. And I would like to extend my gratitude to from Professor Vrindavan sir, to Professor um, Dr. Om Naran Rao, Madam Sravani, Madam, and other professors, other views that have present now, and their participation has been meaningful for this webinar. And With this, once again, hello.
Thank you, Dr. Maharana. Well, I request one thing, sir, one not a question, that I wanted to know where is Vadalu? Where is Vadalu? Where
Vadalur
is
is Vadalur is near Chidambaram.
Yes,
Chidambaram, you know, one of
Chidambaram.
the Jyotirlinga. Yeah,
Yes, Chidambaram has gone. Yes. Okay.
it
Near
is actually Vadalur is 250 kilometers south of Chennai.
250 kilometers from Chennai. Okay. Sir.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir. Thank you. Namaskar, sir. Thank you so much.
Namaskar.
Well, I request our Professor Pramod Kumar Das to declare the meeting closed. Over to Professor Das. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank